Good evening, everyone. Today is probably week 11. Right now, I don't have my phone with me. So, as I remember, this is week 11. The surprising fact is the week 10 video I recorded on last Sunday, but there I had to edit and add some videos to it. Surprisingly, it took all week and I just finished it editing half an hour ago. It was that much consuming time to edit a video. It took all week with my work. But this is probably week 11 of me talking impromptu. I'm happy I'm sitting here for 11th time consistently. And I'm happy. I'm so happy about that actually. What we're gonna talk today? Today, even in this moment, there are more conflicts going on in the world, and the famous one in our news feed is America, Iran, and Israel. Those are the biggest conflicts that going on in the world right now. America is threatening Iran that they will bomb this weekend, next weekend, this day, and Iran is asking world to stop these wars. Iran also saying they are preparing, and Russia, China also saying if any action was taken in Iran, they will react. And countries are in chill that they wanna fight, but all those are media that is shown to us, right? The majority of people are not in that media world who operates the media. They probably have some agenda, but we don't know because we can't read their mind. But millions and billions of people are affected from their actions. Millions of people in Iran are living in tension, scarcity, without much resources, inflation going up. Why? From the sanctions of USA and USA saying they will attack day, this weekend, unless you agree to our terms. And Israel, on the other hand, saying, pushing America to attack Iran. And even Netanyahu have threatened Trump that we will push you out from the presidency unless you attack Iran. How can that small country threaten much the world power just like that? Definitely, there should be some more influential people who can influence those people, not the everyone. They can influence those people so they can influence the world with the military power they have under their constitutions. No one controls this world. No one owns this world. We all are just passing by, right? Think about what is your world. There are 8 billion people, and you can't go every place in the world in your lifetime. You meet limited number of people in your life. Imagine how many people you meet, how many people you know, if even if you write down the names, how many people come into your wedding. In your wedding from two people, two parties, maximum of 500 attending. Even if your Facebook can add only 5,000 friends, even Mark Zuckerberg knows more than you can't have more than 5,000 friends. You meet very limited number of people during your lifetime in this 8 billion people. So if you search Google, you will see that an ordinary person meet like 100,000 people in their lifetime. And from that 100,000, roughly 10,000 people we get to talk much and like we share our things and we create a bond, maximum of like 10,000. That's our world basically. That's our world basically. And for if you say that these people are controlling the world, I mean they are controlling your world. In this survival, humans have created systems, and those some few people get together and created some way of their system in order to have control in all the essentials that humans consume and the monetary value, and they want to have power, money, so they created laws and constitutions in favor of their survival. Simply that is what happening. Some people come to the media and say, we are bringing world peace, we are doing this for humans, we are doing this for the world, we are attacking Iran because the world need peace. They are public speakers. They come into the media, and that's what you consume through your eyes, ears, and the people you interact in your daily life. So who are in TV? In TV there are actors. Their job is to show you a vision for humanity and continue their way to gain their profits. And there are few billionaires who fund these people or blackmail these people so they can maintain their lifestyle and control as their ancestors did, and what they have inherited or they have gained somehow. That's their survival way. That's the only way they know. And for the same agenda, they have created an organization called Zionism and created the state called Israel from three words that written in a book. We don't know who wrote that book. No one knows who wrote that book. But after reading a book, a person comes to media and say, we want that land because it's written in a book, and we will fight and kill each other until we have gained that land. And there's a country called World Dominance, the world superpower, and they are giving billions every year to that country to fight, billions of taxpayers' money for 75, more than 75 years right now. And there's an organization called APEC in USA. That's an organization for have the bond between America and Israel. And APEC have released an advertisement that saying, they simply say it in plain sight that they fund both the parties in Democratic and Republican. Whoever comes into power, they support their agenda. That's what's simply happening. When an election is near, they fill the media with their stories. They create that brand in your head. They give you two choices to choose one from. When you choose one, your mind thinks you did the right thing. You choose the best. But that is the trap. Democracy is good when it started, but after few years, people learn the loophole in democracy. They create the laws that have loopholes so they can escape. They have lawyers, accountants, and everyone who show them and to do to show them what they can do to get out from legally from the court. And from this economic system, the money humans have created, it creates huge inequality between people. When big corporations' money are funded for their agendas, they can control a market, but it is unnecessary right now. I was talking about the media. The media shapes your narrative and make you choose one out from both the parties that APEC have funded. And each leader in United States have come into the media and said they support Israel no matter what, that Israel is their best friend. But why a country, a leader cannot say that we will protect all the countries in the world, we will create peaceful solutions, systems for us to survive so that we can provide our basic needs. Even at this moment, there's a surplus of food in the world, but around 10% of the people in the world are starving, and the same are lacking water. But do we lack that? No. It is a fault in the system that they have created. Not even they have created, maybe they have inherited and they have added something for that. And they also may not do that consciously. They are repeating the patterns they have absorbed from their surrounding, from their childhood. And they have learned that pattern for their survival, and they can't stop repeating that pattern because it is running them unconsciously. Once they are in that loop, once they got trapped in that trap from someone, they can't escape that. And I saw a post saying that the system is a calculated way that they keep us running, working. The more people getting trying to awaken, they make more harder for you to provide your basic needs. It goes up. Even they don't know what they are doing. They may be, they maybe think, but everyone think, but simply what humans want to live peacefully, who are terrorists, what they want, what the Trump want, what Israel want, what Russia wants, what China wants, and what terrorists want. All they want is to sleep peacefully at night and have food to give for their children and for himself and the family. If he can work and provide and get that needs for his family, do you think that person ever need to fight? Do you think a well-fed person ever want to fight? Hillary Clinton in a video clearly says that they have funded IS, and they are the one who created. And you know many terrorist organizations are funded by powerful countries. So they have an enemy, so they can fight. But those terrorists, they are not actually terrorists. They are normal citizens who don't have a way to survive. When their families were destroyed, when they don't have anyone to rely on, they create a hate for people who have destroyed their families. And some big organization come into their home and they give money and all the comfort and brainwash into hating the enemy, that country who has destroyed their homes, basically young people, young boys. They can easily brainwash by big organization, by money and all the luxury. And they grow up and they want to fight the country who destroyed their houses. And the countries come into the media and say these terrorists want to destroy everything. They want to take our land. So we're gonna fight. So they fight for centuries. And mostly the destruction happened to common citizens. That's the funny part, you know. That's the best part. The most damage happened to citizens. They don't want you to live peacefully. If people can provide their basic needs without any obstruction. The last part, I haven't turned on the microphone, so I don't know how it sounds like. It's bit raining, so that's why I checked whether the microphone was working or not. And now I connected it, turned on. So where I was talking, yeah, so same organization create the terrorist organization. They have enemy to fight in front of media for them to come into the media and justify their actions so they can simply occupy land. They overthrow regimes, the governments, the presidents in the country saying they are developing nuclear programs. They have nuclear. It happened to Iraq. After months of search, they couldn't find weapons of this mass destruction. And there are so many videos in the internet that army officers who went to Iraq are blaming those presidents that they have realized the lie they're living in. They realize the lie they have put into the brain of soldiers and made them fight against citizens, ordinary humans, just like them. Now they are regretting their actions, but at that time they were brainwashed. How can you blame them even? It is something, the system we have inherited from our ancestors. They were fighting because they couldn't communicate properly. They didn't have this comfort. They were under constant stress for survival. So they wanted to protect themselves, though they planned ahead to create, build weapons so they can protect. But after some time, humanity evolving, and when people are free, when they are comfort, they are thinking what is happening. Why a human kill a human? And they come into the media, politicians come into the media and justify their actions. But common citizens ask why? Why can't we talk, use dialogue, communicate? We have translators. Why can't we negotiate? There are courses to study about communication, how you can resolve any conflict where both the parties agree, both the parties benefit. That education is there. The knowledge about mind, psychology is there. But why politicians never do anything? Because they are occupied with some agenda. That's what they talk all day long in the media. Whether they are hitting him, attacking this country. Do you think they have time to think for yourself, for your life, for your future, for your children's future? No. Their mind is occupied. Even they have 24 hours just like you. And there are so many other genocides happening in the world and no one talks about it. And I saw today that in 2021 UN has drafted a law that says food must be a human right, and only 2 countries have opposed that law. You know who they are? United States and Israel. It is not the people in those countries actually. It is the governments and the structure, the controlling structure in the country. They are the ones who we see, and there are so many people we don't see. And we don't have to fight that system actually, right? Because that is the system they know to control and provide basic needs for all the humans. But we can create our own system for us to survive. First, we need to grow food. That is a must. And some countries grow so much food that excess for them, right? If we can list all the things they provide in a country, and we can create more system, better distribution. It is a problem about distribution. There are so much food in the world, excess, but there are 10% of people who starve. There's a problem in the distribution. If we can get a report of what countries have and what they need for them to survive, we can share those. And why then we need to fight? And humans do anything if they get money, because money helps them to survive in this system. That is the tool we have using right now. When you create a small product, let's say like a camera, you can sell it for $1,000, right? If you create a small bin like that, you sell it for $2, $5. The bigger the item you create, the more profit you can get. The more expensive the parts that needed to create a product, the more expensive that product will be. The more expensive the product will be, the more profit they can gain. That is how the system, the economy, they have built up, and we choose to continue. And without we even knowing, we have invested in those defense companies who build technology to plan ahead to kill another human. One thing I think we can do is we can simply withdraw money from those companies. Whatever company which is publicly running on stock market, if we withdraw money from it, it send a message to those companies that we don't need to fight. You don't have try to so hard to create a conflict. The media show us the enemy so they can be the hero, but simply It is a marketing tool for some people to sell their products and profit massively, so they can have more manpower and live without fear. When they traffic children and build anything, AI, technology, robots, and train humans to kill without any guilt from childhood, they kidnap children and train them to be monsters. How they can do? With more money. With more money, they can get more power, more people from maybe police, army, parliament, congress, anywhere. With money. People love money because that is the tool we need right now in order to survive. But why that paper have a value? Why that paper have a value? Because we trust. We each other, each human, you and me, trust this paper have value. Who are we trusting? We trust in the governments because they are the one printing that. And US mainly need the world to do every transaction with their paper money. They have the dominance in the economy. That paper, you get that paper if you provide a service or a product. If you give your labor or if you give your time, energy, you get that paper, right? That's what we need to do to get that paper. And that paper have a value because we trust that paper have value. And humans will do anything to get that paper. They know they can eat well, drink well, sleep well in a very comfortable place. They can get the best cars, they can be safe, they can get bodyguards. So they get protected in expense, millions, because even in their world they only care for few people, 50, 100,000. There are millions of people they are responsible for. But do you think they feel the pain of that millions of people? You don't know the pain of millions of people unless you go inwards yourself. Unless you learn about yourself, you don't feel the pain of the millions of people that are affected from your greediness, because from the way you choose to survive. Right now, what we can do is we can ask emotional intelligence qualification from leaders. We can ask them to talk and talk and talk until they come into a solution without fighting. You can ask without just protesting to stop the war. Tell them how to stop the war. Maybe they even don't know how to stop the war. That's not their problem because they haven't learned that. But if we know how to stop the war, we can just ask them. When millions ask them, if many people ask their senator in their country, US, and basically simply from US, you can stop these wars. When Trump, it can be a drama, right? When Trump not attacking Iran sooner, Israel is pushing to attack Iran soon. Why? They can't talk. They can't talk. They know they can't fight now. If they start fighting, it will be a mass destruction. With the technology we have today, so advanced, it will create so much destruction for humans on earth. And they know if they fight each other like that, people no longer vote them, people no longer keep them in power. They either want to do it slow without getting involved with other countries. They wait till the governments of those countries get weakened to get it easily without fighting, because they know if they start fighting massively, it will be a huge threat even for the US government and Israel. Even Netanyahu, I don't know how his brain is working, but even in one video he has simply said, you can make one person into believing something and make them do harm for other people. He says that in a video. It is available on internet. Even he can be a puppet too. What we see in media is puppets fighting, pushing them, ask them to come to negotiation, but they don't like the negotiation, so we're gonna fight. As we protesters, we can ask them to learn emotional intelligence. We can ask them to listen. We can ask them to practice mindfulness. At least repeat some phrases of compassion, affirmations daily. After after some time, it becomes their reality. They know the psychology. The psychology is available. The knowledge is available in this world, and they are busy with plotting what we do, how we attack 7 countries in 7 years, how we get those resources, how we have the bond with Israel. US citizens are smart, knowledgeable, developed. They can simply stop this war because they are the ones who is funding. Unless they speak up, millions, at least if 10 million from 350 million people stand up and go into the White House and tell Trump, you can only talk. You can't harm any human under human rights. If you want to fight with another country, go with president to president, face to face, as men with balls go face to face and fight. If you don't want to fight, you can't send innocent children into war to fight. Even they don't know what they are doing, their brain is washed. Most people in the military are young children whose options was to go to probably army or do some trade job. Most of the young children, I have met one. When I'm doing Uber, I have met a guy. When I asked him why you choose to go to army, he said, I had to choose between whether going to army or doing a trade course. So I choose army. That is the only two options we have given for those young children to do, to pursue, to give value to this community. And when they go into the army bases at a young age, it's very easy to create their mindset, brainwash, and put their beliefs into their head and create in their head who is the enemy and who is the good person who you are serving, who you should be faithful to. And those children go into those countries and fight each other and playing with their agendas. If they knew what they are doing, they will never go. Even they are funded by your taxpayers' money. Let's say for now, it's good to have army for protection, but you don't have to simply work in fear. In a meeting, Trump says, if he didn't take the Greenland, either China will Russia take it. How such a silly imagination is. And they think if you don't attack first, they will attack you and kill you and take your country and make America great again. It's not that easy. Those people don't want another country, don't want to attack. If their lifestyle is not threatened, they will not threat any country. They create the problem and they show to us that they are the solution as well. But right now people are awakening. People are awakening. American citizens simply can. Even the young children in Israel don't want to go to war. Even they are burning their draft papers. Even they are fighting against the Zionism in Israel. They simply say Judaism is not Zionism. Zionism is a political movement. Few people created from their faith, from their beliefs, in order to have control, in order to create a state. And when you have an enemy inside Middle East, you can simply fight for a long time and make more and more profit. It's easy. You provide weapons for Hamas, you make them rich, you give them weapons, your technology, and ask them to and brainwash them to attack somewhere, and you go to the media and tell them, oh, they attacked us, now we have to attack, and they destroy all the houses in a country, and they come to the media and they promise to build that country again. How silly. When they building, the GDP goes up, right? GDP goes up. I have talked a lot today, and I was only talking about politics. For you, I want to tell you something for you. What you can do. You can be in different position in life. You can be very rich. If you are very rich, you can have more time, so you can do more impact. And you can be a student who is trying, working part time and making money for survive and learning. You go on that way. At least give 15 minutes to learn about how your mind works, how your mind works, to observe your thoughts. Observe your thoughts. By observing your thoughts, you can understand over time what is really happening in your life and how you're living, how you should living, what is happening in the world. When you understand about yourself, you will understand the operating system of the world leaders. We can simply learning 15-30 minutes, spend, only give that time for ourselves. When the more people understand this, the more they will ask from the leaders. They will ask the qualification from leaders to care for millions of people. Show us your qualification. Show that you can care for millions. What you have learned, what you do daily, what you practice. Show us how you tell affirmations in the morning about compassion and simply teach them. When you repeat compassionate affirmations, it creates new patterns in your brain and it becomes your new reality. Right now, we are running in our patterns, in our subconscious mind, but those patterns are not you. That's why we need to observe our thoughts and learn self awareness. So you slowly learn how to navigate with each other, not to get interact with an empty board, not to take anything personally, and you simply understand another human and you simply create the world around you. In your small world, simply we do small actions of kindness, maybe with our money. The way we use our money is a vote that we choose to do. If you have money, you can simply help the world around you, make their lives bit more easy. And if you don't have money, that's fine. You can survive, you can work and build yourself up slowly. And when you live in abundance, when you let it be in the nature, whatever you want in life will attract to you. By doing the service for other people in your surrounding, by becoming the leader in your world, you will send the ripple effect to the whole world. Right now, it is us who is breathing. It is us who is alive. There were humans before us before, and we have inherited some system from them. And they may be not know everything because they were also humans, just like us who were born as a baby one time. And they think what they know is true. Everyone, we all believe what we know is true. But in democracy, we got to listen. Democracy says it gives a voice for everyone. But when everyone speaking, who is gonna listen? Someone gonna listen. It should be a dialogue to talk and come into a peaceful agreement. That's only when we can live in peace, when we are fulfilled, when we create system for us to survive. We don't have stress, we don't want to fight. But few industries will go bankrupt and we can create something for them to survive, to show them the meaning, the path, the real purpose of life. That is the direction we want to evolve. Humanity is evolving. Look at the direction we are evolving right now. Do you like it? If you don't like it, you are the one who can choose to evolve in different direction. If we are evolving towards hate, division and destruction right now, we can choose to evolve towards love, harmony, unity, fulfillment, living together in communities, provide our basic needs, then align with ourselves to be God, to take control of our life starts with you. We all can start by learning about our own mind. We bring to this world only our body, and why don't we learn about our mind? That education was simply there for a long time, but it is something that should be given in schools. That's why you send your children to schools to give the necessary education, but you don't even get the education of your own mind, your own emotion, your own thoughts. Not because that education is not there, because some didn't have time to prioritize that. Because some people, the leaders, were occupied with some other agendas, some other thoughts. But right now, you can't ignore that. You can't ignore. We should teach emotional intelligence to our children. Teach them what are your thoughts, what are your emotions, how your thoughts arise, how you can observe your thoughts and take action, how can you be self-aware, what emotions do you have, why those emotions arise, and how do you manage those emotions and move on to the next moment. If you simply teach that and practice by aligning with yourself with your breath, because breath is your life, breath is your prayer, breath must be your prayer. Your life is your first breath to your last breath. If we need to survive, if we need food, water, and shelter, safety to survive, we need oxygen to survive as well. We don't feel it because it is abundant in everywhere. But the way we evolve, one day we might need to buy oxygen as well. We might need to measure carbon footprints as well, because we produce so much excessively that we don't need. Because in a market, we make money, the more we we make it to break in few months so people can buy another thing. But we can create better products for 20-30 years. People don't have to buy again and again. When they don't have to buy again and again, there will be less rubbish and there will be less pollution. But in this system, this economic system, people need to survive. They need to produce more and more and more, and it is not sustainable. We can simply shift into the way we want to evolve, but it will be all our choices. It will be all our choices. Basically, if it is all our choices, this message must go into many people in the world. This message will first go into the people who have time to watch this. People who have time to watch this mean either they are studying, they're living with parents, or either they are financially secure, they're financially manageable for next few months at least, or they have a job or a system for them to generate money to survive. We can simply use our time to think and focus and create better systems. How we want to evolve? You can talk with the people around you. Simply, you can ask, if this paper, what gives this paper money value? What this paper money value? What do you trust to this paper have value? Before it was backed by gold, but not now. And there's a, I'll talk that later. Right now, if you see this video, you can simply talk with people about this around you, in your world. Small actions that can create brighter futures for your children. We can start that way. We can simply create content, write books about emotional intelligence, and teach children. And the best thing is we can teach teachers about emotional intelligence by giving them a reward. When they are given a reward, they got to spend that time learning. When they learn emotional intelligence, children absorb from the teachers, and from children it can go to the parents, and that's how the whole community get enlightened. How wonderful is that? Imagine. I don't expect much that someone will watch this video to the end, but I'm gonna record it and leave it in the space for at least one person who might watch this one day. I think I have a lot of work to do. I don't know for how long, but what to do? We got to do. I'll talk to you next week. It's getting dark and got some few work to do. Take care for now. Take care for this week until I get to meet you next week. See you.